Have you ever been in a situation where you could not communicate because of language barrier? How frustrating is that? Well, as a person who lives in a country where my dominant language is not spoken, I have been in a lot of funny situations, but also a lot of not so funny situations. But what are the benefits of learning a second language? Especially on this day and age where everybody has a cell phone and you can translate at any point. One of the benefits of being bilingual is that you can see the world in a different way. Some even say that speaking two different languages can sometimes feel like having two different personalities. Just like when you speak to someone you're friends with when you're a child growing up versus a friend you have only known for a few years. Your personality can switch. I'm not sure if most people know that, but bilingual people don't only speak in a different language, but they also think in a different language, which was something I had no idea before I actually learned how to speak English. It's something I never even thought of, and most likely no one ever thinks of it. Let's take a minute and think about that. Your brain not only has to speak in that different language, but also has to think in a different language, which gets me to my next point. I would like to talk about the relationship of a second language in your brain health in a later age. Being able to speak more than one language can help you develop a healthier brain. Just like the leg and arm muscles, your brain is also a muscle that needs to work out and exercise to be healthy. According to an article from the Washington Post, a second language might help sustain the brain. Author Julie Catering said that previous studies have shown that people that learn a second language, even as an adult, show symptoms of dementia several years later than people that only speaks one language. According to the BBC's Future website, speaking a second language can offer protection after brain injury. In a recent study of 600 stroke survivors in India, was discovered that cognitive recovery was twice as likely for bilinguals as for monolinguals. While there is no true way to test that theory because all individuals are different, it does show a significant difference between two types of people. We live in a multilingual world where connections are now more important than ever. Knowing a second language can always give you an advantage. It can help in your career, it can improve your memory and brain functions, it can enhance your ability to multitask. Learning a second language opens up opportunities for being part of a different community with a different culture and really learning about the world around us. But really, the biggest benefit of learning a second language to me is that you can complain about your husband right in front of him and he'll have no idea. But jokes aside, the truth is learning new skills every day enhances all aspects of your life. By learning new skills, you can increase your career opportunities. Most companies will take advantage of someone who speaks a second language because it can help them grow. It shows the employers that not only you're intelligent, but also that you have the willingness to try. If you travel to a different country that speaks your second language, you can communicate with the locals. And since some languages have similarities, you might not speak the full language, but because you know multiple languages, you can get a general explanation of what they're talking about. You can meet and speak to people you never would have. And this, in my mind, is the most important thing. The world would grow so much more by knowing a second language. Only around 200 million people speak Portuguese in the world, but 1.5 billion people speak English. By learning English, I made myself able to communicate with almost 10 times the amount of people. Expanding your knowledge of the world and meeting people of different culture could make you understand so much more than staying in that same safe space most people are comfortable with. In closing, I would like to encourage everyone to think about the great possibilities that come with learning a second language. It doesn't matter which language you want to learn. It's all about going for it. Think about the next time we decide to go on a vacation outside of the country. Instead of downloading a translator app, give you take some time leading up to the trip in the few months before the trip and trying to learn as much as you can. It would completely change the aspects of your trip and the rest of your life.